Norman Nordstrom lives in relative solitude with his 11-year-old daughter, Phoenix, and his loyal pet Rottweiler, Shadow, in the decaying suburbs of Detroit. Their home serves as a fortress against the dangers of the outside world. The tranquility of their daily life is punctuated by routines that provide a semblance of normalcy amidst the pervasive decay. One of these routines is Norman's recounting of their past to Phoenix, where he tells her that they once had another house, which tragically burned down in a fire, taking her mother's life with it. This story has shaped Phoenix's understanding of her past, reinforcing her bond with Norman and their shared sense of loss. Norman's connection to the outside world is minimal, maintained primarily through his friend and former Army Ranger, Hernandez. Hernandez delivers their weekly groceries, ensuring they have the essentials to survive. Despite her rough exterior, Hernandez cares deeply for Norman and Phoenix, often urging Norman to allow Phoenix more freedom to experience life outside their home. Hernandez, seeing the potential for Phoenix to lead a more enriched life, convinces a reluctant Norman to let her take Phoenix into town to run errands. Norman, though protective and wary, agrees, recognizing that Phoenix needs to interact with the world beyond their walls. During their trip, Hernandez and Phoenix share moments of bonding, giving Phoenix a glimpse of a world filled with possibilities. The vibrant sights and sounds of the town contrast sharply with the dilapidated surroundings of their home. Phoenix, wide-eyed with curiosity, takes in the bustling life around her. However, the fragility of their peace is shattered when they stop at a gas station. While Hernandez refuels the car, Phoenix heads to the bathroom, only to be ambushed by a gang member. The suddenness of the attack terrifies Phoenix, but Shadow intervenes, scaring the man away. The gang member signals to his comrades to follow Phoenix home, marking the beginning of a harrowing ordeal. After safely returning Phoenix home, Hernandez continues on her way, unaware of the danger that now stalks her. Tragically, she is ambushed and killed by the gang, who then set their sights on Norman's house. Their first act of cruelty is to lure Shadow away and kill him, severing one of Norman's most loyal protectors. When Norman notices that Shadow's food bowl is still full, his instincts tell him something is wrong. Venturing outside, he finds Shadow's lifeless body, a bullet wound marking his death. The sight of his loyal companion's demise ignites a fierce determination in Norman to protect his daughter at all cost. As Norman returns to the house, the gang silently infiltrates, their objective clear: to kidnap Phoenix. A tense struggle ensues between Norman and the gang members, showcasing Norman's combat skills and unwavering resolve. The gang, however, has the advantage of numbers and ruthlessness. The situation takes a shocking turn when the gang leader, Raylan, reveals himself and declares that he is Phoenix's real father. He supports his claim by pointing out a streak of white hair on the right side of his head, identical to Phoenix's. This revelation upends Phoenix's world. 8 years prior, her home burned down because a meth lab in the basement exploded. Phoenix's father, Raylan, was taken into custody immediately after the explosion and sentenced to 8 years in prison for his crimes. Norman, discovering Phoenix unconscious in the ruins of the house with Shadow by his side, took her in, driven by his own desire to have a daughter again. Raylan, having served his sentence, tracked Phoenix down after seeing her leave flowers at her mother's memorial, confirming her survival. Phoenix, torn between the man who raised her and the man claiming to be her father, tries to flee but is rendered unconscious by one of Raylan's gang members. Meanwhile, Raylan sets his dog on Norman. Despite being an adversary, Norman cannot bring himself to kill the animal, opting instead to trap it in the attic. The gang decides to burn down Norman's house, believing it to be the end of their troubles. They take the unconscious Phoenix and drive away, unaware that Norman and the trapped dog manage to escape the burning house. Outside, Norman discovers Hernandez's van and arms himself with weapons stored inside. He leashes the gang's dog, allowing it to lead him to their hideout. Phoenix awakens to a grim reality. Raylan introduces her to her mother, alive but terminally ill. Her mother explains that the meth lab explosion caused severe internal damage to her organs. The gang's plan to kidnap Phoenix was driven by a desperate and grotesque need. They intend to have a criminal surgeon extract Phoenix's heart for a transplant, as she is her mother's only compatible relative. The gang prepares to carry out the heart transplant in a makeshift operating room. The surgeon, lacking proper equipment, plans to perform the operation while Phoenix is fully conscious, heightening the cruelty of the situation. As the surgeon is about to begin, a sudden blackout plunges the room into darkness, halting the procedure. Raylan sends Raul and the remaining gang members to investigate the cause of the blackout. In the ensuing chaos, Norman, having tracked them down, systematically eliminates the gang members one by one. Raul, witnessing the brutality and having a change of heart, decides to side with Norman. He guides Norman to where Phoenix is being held, his conscience outweighing his loyalty to Raylan. Norman, driven by a mix of paternal love and vengeance, ambushes the group. He kills the surgeon first, preventing the heart extraction. A violent confrontation between Norman and Raylan follows. During the struggle, Raylan accidentally shoots and kills Phoenix's mother, adding to the chaos and tragedy. In a final, brutal act of retribution, Norman gouges out Raylan's eyes, leaving him to die in agony. With the immediate threat neutralized, Norman, gravely injured, confesses his crimes to Phoenix. He admits to murder and rape, baring his soul to her in a moment of raw honesty. He urges her to leave him, believing himself unworthy of her love and forgiveness. As he succumbs to his injuries, Raylan, still clinging to life, attempts to finish Norman off. Phoenix, summoning her courage, kills Raylan, saving Norman in his final moments. Norman, with his dying breath, tells Phoenix that she has already saved him. His words carry a profound weight, signifying a release from his tormented past. Phoenix, now free from the lies and violence that shaped her life, leaves the hideout. She steps into a new chapter of her life, one defined by her resilience and the hope for a brighter future.